Welcome in everybody, welcome back to the channel stream. Today we're going to be flying from none other than South Africa's Johannesburg airport. We're going to be flying down south to Cape Town. One of the most beautiful aircraft in the world, the 747-400, and we have an amazing global Supertanker livery today. Look at this, super stunning. That orange and that red really brings out the South African spirit, I think, and the heat down here. This is not the main international airport for Johannesburg. This is the smaller privately owned airport, but nonetheless it's still an airport. It's still suitable for us. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's get our ground services connected. APU starting up in the background. And ground power as well. Turn all the systems on. Electrical buses. It's quite a fairly simple process on the 747-400, coming from someone who actually once upon a time really enjoyed it, and I still do, but probably more so, in fact more so now, I'd say. This airport technically didn't come up as being appropriate for the 747, so that's why we're the biggest aircraft on the ramp. Anyway, flight plan, I got it downloaded pre-ready. I'm already ready for you all. So here we go. We got the maximum stuff here. We got the fuel. So minimum is about 30,000 there for block fuel. Yeah, about 30,000. So what we're going to do is we're going to enter that in down here on the menu, and there has a specific section on the FMC. This is the Sparky mod, by the way, a free 747-400 for X-Plane 12. Aircraft, let's just check that's right. It should be in hectopascals. Barometric should be synced. Anyway, back to menu. Ground handling, we all know the procedure if you've been here before, so pay packs and things, we just enter that in. So let's go ahead and enter our fuel on the, that's the wrong menu, isn't it? Ground handling, can we do fuel from down here? No, so that's the one thing you can't do here, I always forget that. So we do it over here. We've got about 40,000 there in payload, and we've already got enough fuel on board, so we don't really need to do anything. We've got a couple of thousand kg extra as well. Okay. Let's move back down, if we can get off it. Back down to packs. Rather than entering them individually, you've probably seen me do this before, and I do recommend it. Just put the total payload weight, so 26.9. into this part down here, so 26. You see it's rounded up to 27, so that's basically a combination of passengers, and it's now filled up those empty boxes. And of course, I was going to say cargo as well, but there's nothing in the cargo at the moment. That's still fine, so leave it like that. Okay, anyway, now we've done that, we can go over to our routes. So up here on the second page, let's go for the, since we haven't downloaded the flight plan, it'll all be manual, which is actually a lot better for me. So Fala Airport, and the destination is fact. Technically this is an international airport as well, so we're not, despite it not being an option, being privately owned, it's still classed as a privately owned international airport. So I don't really know what that means in South African law terms. Yeah, I don't know what it means at all. So now we've put that into the route. Flight number, we don't really have one, so we're going to put 2 in. And you'll see next page on departures. We have runway 25, and apparently we don't have any SIDs. It's fine. Go back to flight plan page, and now you should be able to enter a route in. So we should be able to enter everything in here into the FMC. So I'm going to do that now. Let's get some lights on. Let's get the nav lights so we get people on, and the smoke inside.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has just turned on the seatbelt sign. Please check that your seatbelts are fastened and secured.
A waypoint mismatch. Okay. So let's try that one more time. Let me type it in properly. To the right side. There we go. So it's putting it on the left side. Remember, left side is for airways. Uniform Zulu. UQ23. That is a little bit slow on the upload. It's a bit realistic, I guess. Just imagine how tedious this would be in real life, but I suppose again in real life. So that airway's not coming up. UQ23. We'll have to skip it. So it's coming up arc lock and then CSV. Need to do that instead. And then U, let's hope this one works. UZ for Uniform Zulu. Again, the Uniform Zulu 26. And that one comes up, brilliant. It does, and that's the arrival then. So what we can do is click execute, go down to arrivals. Since we know what it is, we can find it on the list. So Otis 1 Bravo, runway 19. So we've got an RNAV there. I think we'll take the ILS today, and it is a Zulu, so we take the ILS. We don't really know what it'll actually be. Flight plan execute, back to legs page. Okay, it's only giving us 5,000 feet. I hope that's right. I'm assuming that's going to be right. We'll just wait for the IRS. Let me do the IRS now. So navigations. Just letting the ground power charges. Let's turn some heating on and bleed out. Let's hit the packs on while we wait. Upper recirculation fans. Let's go back to the first page and we'll find 380, so 38,000 feet. Or 0380 for the cruise on altitude. Very relaxed today. I hope you're all having a relaxing one as well. Plenty more videos, plenty more things to come from the channel in the near future. Cost index, that's one thing I haven't checked. It's usually quite a lot in the 747, but today they've given us 36. Cruise altitude again 380. So this is cruise center of gravity, step size, thrust limit. We want maximum thrust. We got pretty much full capacity. What's the outside air temperature? So it's 27 degrees. Flap setting, of course, will be 10. And then we got our reference speeds there. So I've cross-referenced this with the flight plan. It's never going to be 100% accurate, but it's pretty damn close. And if you check the airport, the runway is sufficient length for us anyway. Or so I hope so. Okay, so what we do now, click center of gravity, and of course trim, so 5.7, which is quite high actually for the 747. About there. Not as much of a nose down today. Suspect it's because we're quite heavy. IRS position, so of course we wait. While we wait, we can do a little bit more, so we can switch the system back onto APU. That'll allow the bleed air from the APU, of course. If you go over here, the APU bleed air is down here, and then I'd say turn the inlet valves on immediately. Of course, return to the menu. Ground services. We'll leave ground, disconnect ground services, ground power, ground handling. So don't remove the chocks until you are ready to push back. And that is pretty much the entire thing. I'm just a bit worried about a 5-page flight plan. There we go. 38,000, so we're not going to be climbing that far before we have to descend. Let's just check the airport. 023 on the QNH. Okay, so they haven't got, obviously they got no stars here, sorry, excuse me, SIDS, standard entry charge is not available. So it's just giving us straight up to 38,000. So it's supposed to be about 2 hours, it was 2 hours 20 airtime, but the biggest stretches I can see are here, a couple of 100 miles. Anyway, we'll get going soon, let's get the airport map, so we can see where we're going to be taxiing. No. So login required, I am actually logged in onto ChartFox, as you can see there. We'll skip that, we'll just use the explain one. Let's set up our MCP, so let's set a few headings and things, and altitude. Remember guys, this is a free plane, Sparky mod, based on the original X-Plane 11 and probably 12 Boeing 747-400. Completely free to download, completely safe as well to use. Works like a charm. I'm going to set that 250, best guess. Remember, set your, if you turn the auto throttle on, it should automatically click onto the V2 speeds, but just to be sure, we're going to double check. So 166. Panel lights. Probably could use some lights down here. Let's get the RTO brake and what we're going to squawk today. Let's get the transponder on and a... Actually not yet, we'll wait till the engines come on. Let's squawk 3100 today. Oh, 3177. Whatever it came up with next is going to do. Good, let's just get the parking brake on. Chocks are in place, but we want to make sure we don't roll away. Okay, you can change the IRS on there, so we're going to do that now. So you can go onto menu, aircraft configuration, IRS alignment. It may be because it's already on, so be sure to change that before you initiate the IRS, otherwise you will have to stop it and then restart it.
Great news, Captain. Your tow's coming.
Okay guys, we're going to get prepared for the pushback while the IRS aligns. We're pretty much ready to go. We're ready to taxi. We just need to get the IRS, and when that's done, we can literally go immediately. 122 decimal 8 is what I understand to be the universal unicom, so we'll keep using that.
Looks like the doors and hatches are closed and we're ready to connect.
Awesome, let's get our beacons on. That's good they're doing the announcement. Now we can remove the chocks. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that, she is confirmed. All passengers on board, all people strapped in. Packs are coming back off. Double check the bleed air is all on, the trim air is on, the fuel pumps need to come on the crossfeed valves. Check what fuel you actually have, so you can easily go down here to the MCP panel and have a fuel option. That will then give you this display down here. So as you can see there, we got none in the stabilizer and none in the center. That means we can avoid sticking those pumps on for the time being, otherwise we're going to be wasting power. The plane's got the power, we don't want to do that.
out of cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Okay, so runway 25 is there. It's going to be a bit of a steep push. As you can see, mostly GA planes in the area. And we're going to push back whatever taxiway this is.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Can't do that just yet. We just got 2 minutes.
Signs located throughout the cabin, as well as all crew member instructions. Smoking is not allowed on any flight, and federal law prohibits tampering or destroying a laboratory smoke detector. There are 12 exits aboard this Boeing 747-400 aircraft, 6 on each side, 5 on the lower deck, and 1 on the upper. The door exits have emergency slides that can be turned into life rafts if we land on water. In the event of an evacuation, leave all
Just
carry-on
enjoying listening to
items
that lady while
behind.
we wait for the IRS.
All exits are
She's pretty
clearly
accurate.
marked
She
with the
knows what
word
plane we're in.
exit.
She knows all the
However,
exits.
if the cabin lighting is dark, then the overhead lights will be illuminated, as well as lights on the aisles guiding you to the nearest exit. Please take the time to find the exit closest to you, and remember they may be behind you.
Thank you for that. Well, in our case, we probably will need to keep that emergency exit on standby. I actually figured out, guys, what the problem was with refueling in the air. Obviously, we shouldn't do it. It's not very professional, but the reason why I couldn't do it and I ended up losing my engines that time on the way to Hong Kong was I had a plug-in installed and it prevented in-air refueling. So just be aware of that. Just be aware of that for the future. If you do have any plugins, it may prevent certain features of the game working. Okay, they're aligned. Back to the IRS in the route manager, or menu in this case, or initialization. Positions. Okay, so this one we have to click get it off the first page. It won't work if you get it off any other page, and that's it, pretty much sorted. As you can see, the route has come up. Let's get everything turned on. Parking brake released. Flight directors, LNAV, VNAV, and as you can see there, automatically clicked to the V2 at the same time. Yeah, we should be pushing back.
And you may start engines.
Cool, let's go for number 2 and 4. Keep an eye on them down on the center console. We do need set minimums as well, so it'll be 1,000 feet above ground level. And the airport's 4,500 feet, so it gives you an idea of just how high up we actually are in this area. Decision height, but no minimums to be set. They are starting, guys, it's just taking a little bit longer than usual. Fuel pumps on, all the electrics, hydraulics on. APU bleed air to the engines. We turned the packs off, didn't we? So, just a bit of a slow one today. Let's do number 4 fuel first, see if that speeds it up. And number 2. Usually you're supposed to wait for about 15 on the N2, but I've done it in the wrong order. Let's stick continuous ignition on. Let's cancel number 2 and let's go for number 4. There we go. So it's struggling to get 2 engines at once here for some reason. That's not a usual thing. See, the N2 there is climbing rapidly now.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
First engine over there spooling up. Second engine right on the left side is spooling up now. There we go, I've got to wait for 10%. Shouldn't really give the pushback the signal until we've had a successful engine start. Otherwise we may need pulling back into the bay, and that will just be, you know, it's just a time waster, isn't it, if you don't tell them.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Thank you very much. So we got N2 is coming up well on the second engine. Now we're going to go for a third engine. Lanseria. And we're November 484 Sierra Bravo today. Again, same thing, so you can see the engines are starting up extremely quick now. We've got some power and bleed air in the system, so number one will probably be just as quick. There we go. Lanseria International Traffic, November 484 Sierra Bravo, taxiing to runway 25. There's nobody in the vicinity, there's one other aircraft in the vicinity. Let's get our packs and stuff sorted, so packs coming on. Now last time I ended up turning up the APU just slightly early, so the engines ended up shutting down, which is never a good thing. All the generators are on. You see down here we've got a warning electrical generator off 4, so sometimes that could just mean clicking them on, off, and then clicking them back on again. Not always though, not always the case. And there we go, so that has in fact works. Everything is on as normal. We're going to get taxiing with our strobes, beacons and taxi lights. Parking brake released. There's a seat there on the corner. It's very, very pretty. I'm just more concerned about the colour than the taxiing. My taxiing used to be good. It seems to have really fell off over the last few weeks. As you can see there, speed builds up relatively quickly as well. Okay, it's telling us to configure the crossfeed. Crossfeeds are on. Everything's on as it should be. 10 degrees of flaps. You shouldn't deploy flaps while you taxi, and everybody should always deploy them before you taxi, or actually not even before, but you know, afterwards, before takeoff. Well, of course, many people do it before taxiing. Okay, we just caused a bit of chaos in the airport. As you can see, the runway is probably long enough. It's just the taxiways and things. That's why it's not a suitable airport. Look at the sheer size of it, though. It's got to be. Like, think of how big the 777 is. That's a huge plane compared to the 737. So imagine a 747. It's like it's bigger than that. It's insane. And then you see other aircraft like the Antonov, and it looks a Boeing 747 look like an ant. Okay, cool. We got a little run-up area there. Parking spaces. The reason why we're building up momentum so quick is obviously the weight of the aircraft. So even the smallest amount of power is causing our aircraft to speed up continuously. Pre-takeoff checklist. Runway 25 confirmed. Transponder to Squawks TCAS mode. Outbound lights, taxi lights off. Strobes are coming on. Autopilot MCP set. Flight plan double checked. Just make sure that's in there. So there it is. Looks like it's going to be a turnaround on the flight in the air. Why have we got minus on the MDA? Right, we'll have to just put that there for now. Lanseria International traffic. This is November 484 Sierra Bravo, departing runway 25 to the south. Flap set. RTO is on.
Traffic switchback at Sunbar Romeo and 10 Alpha 5 push start facing north, expecting clear for departure as Johannesburg traffic.
Maybe I should have said Johannesburg. Lanseria is pretty much the same. This is the airport, Johannesburg, Lanseria. Let's advance the throttles. Now what we're going to do is we're going to hopefully line up. Is a little bit slope this runway is. Well, we're ready to go. So TCAS. I shouldn't really push TCAS because it always causes problems. Configure spoilers. Airspeed is alive. We got 80 knots, 70 knots,
80 knots.
80 knots. Really steep.
V1.
V1, rotate.
positive rate.
Positive rate climb. That runway there sloped off to one side. It was dragging a little bit. Positive rate climb, gear up. Airspeed low, I did select Toga. As you can see, it's gone maximum thrust. In fact, that's the most thrust I've ever seen on this aircraft. Never seen it go below like that point, but that is super high for the N1 speed. So we're maintaining there, was maintaining V2, so +5, there we go, speed's building up a little bit more. It's just very, very bumpy. Set next waypoint. 1,000 feet is reached, we're safe to turn on the autopilot. At level 380 of course. Smooth departure there. So again, I made the mistake of pushing the takeoff go around button. Now on this particular model, for some reason it causes issues, which is why I've stopped using it. Let's see if it causes a problem today after pressing it. It shouldn't do though, because it's switched over to VNAV speed, but it shouldn't cause a It shouldn't, but it does, of course, cause an issue. Anyway, minimum decision height. Usually decision height is different. Flaps to 5. That's 10,000 feet. Never flown to South Africa either, a completely new place for me.
10,000.
And we've even got another 747 or an A380 down there at one of the neighbouring airports. Standard pressure getting set there. Gear neutralised as I said, but it can't seem to do it. Standard pressure, the airport down there must be more suitable. This one here, I'll have to remember, it was a fine length, it was absolutely fine, went straight down the centre line, but it was slightly slanting to the left hand side. Landing lights coming off. All the anti-ice, window heat. Flaps to 1. And flaps to try, that's it. In the 747 it's, you know, the flaps are going to be left out on the wing for considerably longer than they would on a 737, and that's because obviously it's not. It is fast and it is just as fast, but it's because it's heavier and it needs that extra lift on takeoff. It needs the extra lift in the climb, sorry. Whereas the 737 can cope well with a pretty steep climb and no flaps at all. As you see here, the 747 without flaps is barely getting up to 8 degrees. Barely getting to 1500 feet a minute is a better way to put it. Okay guys, we're on our way. So we have straight up to 38, and then it's literally a couple of hundred nautical miles, maybe 300, 400 miles, nautical miles till we get to the sand again. Let's make sure we're on our route. So we're going to be intercepting our route any second. We're going to go straight to Canberra. So what we go in here is go fix. Well, actually, better yet is there. This is not the airport I was thinking of earlier. There was an international airport somewhere around here. It may have been that one, but I don't think it was. Anyway, Johannesburg is full of airports. We'll be going down south to Cape Town. I'm going to step away from the cockpit. Please ask me questions if you want to talk to me about this. I'll be more than happy to engage with you. Okay, we're just approaching our cruising altitude of 38,000 feet. We're almost there. Plane's super loud on the inside today. So everybody, I will be here monitoring the flight, and I will check in semi-regular intervals, and if anything goes wrong, I'm going to take a little bit of a backseater on this one. If anyone has any questions, I'll answer you probably in the chat instead. And I'll see you all when we get there, hopefully. Just do a few check-ins on the way, but that's about it. Of course, everybody, time to check in. That was Beethoven's Ninth Symphony finale by the one and only. So, we are currently on the way to South Africa's Cape Town. The cockpit of the 747 is the most noisy one, so of course listening to a bit of classical music will help anybody, I think, relax. We have about 8 nautical miles to our top of descent. Or should I say, maybe about 200 nautical miles, so we're probably halfway there by now if we check on the chart map. So I'd say we're well over halfway. There's Johannesburg where we set off from, and there's Cape Town, our destination. So we're over halfway, and yeah, it's turning out to be a pretty smooth flight. There's been no issues so far. And in the future, you can expect more long hauls. It won't be as, I don't know, it's not the most scenic of places, is it? It's a lot of dry and rocklands. So anyway, yeah, in the future I'm going to do I do want to go back to type in whatever the Hong Kong International Airport's old name used to be. I'd like to fly from somewhere like Singapore down here in the Indonesian region. Of course, Port Moresby, that's one we could fly from. That's a in fact, we could fly, yeah, Port Moresby, and I think, or Jakarta, Singapore. So Port Moresby, and we'll go up north. I don't know if Air China actually flies that route. I'll have to check. And we'll go to Hong Kong. As you can see, China is absolutely massive. Look at all these different places. Kowloon there. If we zoom in, this is the airport we didn't get to last time, but I will do it in the 747. Of course, is Hong Kong International Airport. And the approach, I've done it a few times in other aircraft. So you come, in my case I was circling from this side, you come round, you go down the left hand side of the airport, you come over the city, and then take a right hand turn, another right hand turn, and then to final, if you're coming on that approach, if it's the other way around, you would come, you know, left side and then turn final here. But yeah, I love the approach over the city, it's really, really cool. I haven't flown from Port Moresby, but this little area down here is also interesting. So one of the few islands actually left, even though Australia's right next to it, and you think of that being as a civilized place. Just next door is of course Port Moresby, and places on this like stretch of island that are inhabited by you know, tribes who do practice different things, let's say, to what might be might be accepted in society. So interesting. Mount Suckling, so everyone keep your eye out for that one. That'll be coming very shortly too. We may probably do it next Monday. And of course Friday we have the Murmansk to Svalbard. That would be very good, very cool. Also in the 747. And of course there'll be videos of the games that I'm playing at the moment coming up. Constantly uploading them every day, so everyone has a chance to watch new episodes pretty quickly. Cool, I'm just going to check back out, and I'll check back in when we get there. Okay, we should be getting our descent very shortly. We can see South Africa's Cape Town just off in the distance. Been a nice relaxing flight today. No stress. If you want to claim to fly an X-Plane 12 and you're worried about anything going wrong, you can either turn the failures off or just fly this aircraft. Very efficient. I've had one thing go wrong, maybe a couple of times, and that's it. So when we descend, we're going to go down. It's initially 20,000, I put 21,000. I think we're better off going down to probably 13,000. And of course we'll slow down. The engines will be idled on the descent. Just checking the approach then. I was worried that because there's a steep turn there. You can see we go down, we're going to turn onto downwind to runway 19. And obviously if it's too short of a distance, it'll be too close to the runway to do it. And it might not be able to, but here, so according to this, we have from the DO, which is where we'll be turning. About this point, we have a 19 nautical miles and then 12 nautical miles to centre fix. Plenty of time for that sort of outbound and then inbound turn, or giving us plenty of time to slow down too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has just turned on the seatbelt sign. Please check that your seatbelts are fastened and secure.
Let's do our pre-running checklist or descent checklist. So auto brakes, we're going to stick on a 1. Double check our reference speed. 163 there, that's about right. That's what I put in earlier. Flaps down to 1 already. Cape Town traffic, this is November 484 Sierra Bravo, descending through the Erdo 1 Bravo arrival to flight level 130, runway 19. course is 192 for the runway. Confirmed on the charts or the airport information. So over here we got the ILS frequency in the course. You'll just see me putting that into the data down here on navigation radio. And then we just do that on heading as well. Spoilers are armed. So with a lever on the honeycomb, it does do this occasionally. It doesn't tend to fit into the, like, if I put it onto the correct number, it won't do it. It's a sliding scale flat lever, you see. So if I want it on 1 and I put it over 1, it won't sink into it. So I think you need to get one of those pull and slide features. So this one, there we go, it's finally slid into it. It's very difficult. You'll usually have to pull it down to the lower number in order to get it into 1 above, if that helps. And down here we have our ground proximity things, so we can open those on landing or approach. Flap override, gear override and terrain. And we do have some other traffic. We've got a small GA aircraft there, presumably. Sometimes it won't show the correct aircraft symbol. And then, of course, Cape Town. Runway 19 is the arrival, and we have one other plane at the airport. It's a shame I can't get on the charts today. I am signed in, but it keeps telling me to sign in, so maybe there's a... maybe it's broken. Who knows? I was going to use it, of course, for the airport charts. We know we're taxiing. We'll just have to use this so we can estimate 19. Only left-hand turnout for a fast departure, fast turnout, and then, to be fair, we'll probably have to go all the way down to the end and taxi Bravo 2, and then to the Bravo 1 to the terminal. Turnout lights on. quite low, quite high up still, but want to be nice and early. And we're going to go down to 3,000 feet now. Flight level change, that might be a little bit easier to descend on. It is looking pretty close though from that centre fix to final. It's saying, so we turn to the right. Centre fix is about 5. And then another 8 to final. Trying to set flaps onto 5 there. That's okay, overspeed. We're already picking up the ILS. And we are quite far from the airport still. Oh wow. So yeah, I mentioned this before about X-Wing 12 scenery. It's not consistent across all territories, but some of the places they really seem to look. It seems to look a lot better. Like this is high resolution, high detail textures. Doesn't look it, but it on my screen it does. It doesn't look it on the stream, but it does on my screen. So yeah, really incredible. They made a good effort there with these mountains. Some cool little places in South Africa, of course, to wingsuit off. Flaps to 5. It will slide into these slots. Inbound lights are on. Brake on, auto brake is set to 1 as well. Back to the VNav, it's giving us 270, which is way too high for the descent. We can go down here, so it is meant to be at 210. That's degrees, I think. No, that's speed. So let's switch back. V now. So yeah, there we go. So now it's switched to 220, which is what I had it selected at. Already pre-prepared for the landing. And then we got this sort of strange one. I'm not too keen on these landings. As you can see there, we got 2 in outbound. It may just be better off to go into centre fix. That makes the most sense. Save us having to do all the turns back and forth. It's a bit more efficient, shall we say. and then it speeds up to 267 with no explanation, even though even though it's got 190 in the FMC. Okay, so this is probably that toga glitch thing, knowing my luck. Should be slowing down again. Coming up with 190, we need 163, so 163, 3,000 feet. $13 nautical miles to Santa Fix. We really need to get descending now. The aircraft is... God, warning to you all, don't use the toga on Sparky. Got no fuel in those tanks anymore. But we still need them on, of course. Drop another notch of flaps. Just does not want to descend at all, this aircraft. Slowing right down now. I have to do manual speed. I was hoping we was going to be able to use the auto throttle. Obviously the VNAV has gone 8 wire. 10,000 feet, thank you for the call out. Let's set local QNH. So 1023. I'm going to slow down to our final speed, which is quite high, about 163 today. Way too high up though. There's the airport. We're still at 10,000 feet. I might as well just switch to the other one, it's a lot easier. Do it with the switch button instead. So 20 degrees on the flaps. That should bring our speed down now. If we click V now, is it going to work? Still giving us 240, it's so silly. Doesn't even follow the flight plan anymore. You can see the runway. We're going to be hopefully on the right altitude in time. We are above the high slope at the moment. Managing that turn nice and steady though. Cool. Need the aircraft to be a bit faster than this. 2 nautical miles to final, and then 8 nautical miles. the ILS. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to select the localizer switch. We are a bit high, but it should be able to establish us. As you can see, we're slightly off to the right, or so it appears we are anyway. We're above the glide slope, but we're descending down nicely. Slowing down nicely as well. Cape Town traffic, November 484 Sierra Bravo is on a 9 nautical mile final for ILS runway 19. And there's the runway 8 nautical miles away, so hopefully we're going to intercept that glide slope. Still very, very high up. Select approach switch. Gear down. Flaps to 25. Please guard work. You need to keep it descending. Keep it descended and it should intercept it. Flight level change again. Flaps to 30. Slowing down quite a bit now. It'd be good if you can turn the auto throttle off, but knowing this aircraft, it will idle before we get to final. $2,500. We may have to take control. The autopilot's not getting us there, so let's disengage that. Disengage the autopilot. We leave the auto throttle on. Just going to push the nose down slightly. Gear is down and locked. Flaps are set full. Landing lights. Seatbelt signs are on. If I disconnect the auto throttle, is it going to do the old toga glitch and put it into full speed? It may do. $1,000 feet. Sort of semi-stabilised, I guess. Way above glide slope. Well, let's disconnect that in a second. There we go. Got manual control, thank goodness. Gonna keep a little bit of power in there, just because it's gonna go idle most likely.
500.
It may not. So 500 feet.
Approaching minimums 400.
Minimums 400 feet.
300.
300. Gonna keep that power up.
200.
200 feet.
100.
100 feet. We're slightly below speed. Don't
50,
worry.
40. 30. 20. 10.
Speed brakes up.
Speed brakes. Full reverse.
Reverse is normal.
Maintain center line. Okay. There we go.
80 knots.
So Razor Toga activated. And we were slightly off center line. I quite like that. That was a good landing. Let's go ahead and taxi all the way to the end. Let's get our auto brakes off. Landing lights off. Taxi lights and turnout lights are on. Leave the TCAS on the transponder for now while we're on the runway. Anti-ice. Window heats are coming off. Cargo heat coming on for the crew to unload. Let's get the APU started while we taxi down the runway. Of course, spoilers retracted. Flaps up. What a beast. What a beast. Handles that really, really well. Let's go and find a parking space, everyone. Really happy with that. Really happy with the performance today. And it, despite me was worried about the glitchy auto throttle, it actually worked in the end. Sufficient sized taxiways at the international airport here. APU is now online. Let's get the APU bleed air on. Cape Town traffic, November 484 Sierra Bravo, clear of runway 19, taxi into terminal via Bravo 1 and Bravo 2. Flight directors off. Navigation off. Strobes off. Turn that lights off. We'll keep the taxi lights on. We're going to put a transponder into mode Charlie for now. We're not going to put it on standby just yet. And now we've got to find a space. Slow down, Bravo 2, Bravo 1. I think somewhere here on the right, we may be able to get a terminal, but I'm not sure. It's a big plane, isn't it? So it's always going to be a struggle. International Airport will accommodate for it. It's just that I don't know the layout, unfortunately. So we've got down. We've got some 777s, A3 Airbus, whatever they're called, A310s are they? A320s. And there we go. So we've got 747 on the right hand side. We may be better off joining them over there. Of course, Cathay Pacific there, Hong Kong on it. Very, very busy airport this. One of the better liveries. It's not see-through like some of the others. It's a solid livery and it has some really cool lines to it, that red and the gold down the side in particular. Okay, terminal's just up for the distance. Let's see what we can do. 777 space will also accommodate it. I'm just going to go right. I can see where I'm going to go right at the end there. There's a space available. Let's pick it on the map. So right down here, we've got a few other planes there. A1, A3, so Alpha 3 via Alpha 1. Cape Town traffic, November 484 Sierra Bravo, taxi into parking space Alpha 3 via Bravo 1 and Alpha 3. That should be via Alpha, not Alpha 3, but Bravo 1 and Alpha 1. Gonna keep our speed nice and low for the taxi, we don't want to cause a ruckus. Yes, just like I was mentioning earlier, the 737 is tiny compared to the 777, but then when you put a 747 next to one of them, it's even bigger. Somehow. 3-4 times the size maybe. And the weight, of course, and the power. There's one of the aircraft that's spawned in. He's sort of overlapping. I think he's the green one. I can't see what it quite says. It says something air on it. And then there's one further down again overlapping with a plane. That's absolutely normal, I think, on VATSIM. As you can see, one of the he's got his lights on, or maybe that's the default. He's got his lights on there. I can't see his light. He's got a beacon on, so he must be getting ready to start up. This guy just on our left. Just there on that Lufthansa bay. Of course, the buses are standing by. This is a really cool airport, and there's a space down there for us, which is where we're going to go in. We're going to be parked right opposite another 747. The one off to our left is a 777, and then of course we got all the A320s on the right, 737s, etc. So Cape Town really is an international airport. It's long haul transportation as well, mostly, and of course local flights. Johannesburg to Cape Town being a real sector. Okay, perfect spaces here. These are appropriate for our planes, so we're going to go ahead and get an Alpha 3. Let's get our taxi lights off. Okay, we got some markings down there on the floor. There's 747, so we're going to go all the way up to that. Right, there's a 747, and the 777 is even further forward than us. Got a feeling our engines may clip the jetway if we go that far. Okay, we're on the 747 mark. Our engine was very close to there. But yeah, very cool parking. Let's do a quick shutdown. We've got the APU running. We'll switch over to the APU one. That's turned off. So fuel cut off. Hydraulic pressure. All the lights. Beacons. Fuel. Leave the fuel on for the APU. Engine bleed air coming off. Packs. Cargo heat can come off. I think that's it. We'll just leave it like that. We'll just leave it in a sort of semi-ready state. Seatbelt signs off. We'll be able to connect the jetway now, I hope. So that's jetway. Down here into the menu, we're going to reattach the jocks. Proper flight today. We know, we've pretty much done everything. We're going to request ground service. Brilliant. So it's nice and parked. That's a good little parking space as well. It fits perfectly. Of course, the bell's just going to keep ringing out, isn't it? That's something else that happens. Right, everyone. As is standard, we watched the replay, but for now, I'm going to sign off. And thank you so much to everyone who's been here and watching. I hope you've all enjoyed the flight. I've certainly enjoyed it. I'm going to be doing another 747 one on Friday as we fly from Murmansk in Russia up to Svalbard, Norway. Norwegian territory, I believe. So I guess I'll see you then. Stick around for the replay or not. Take care.